I was on medical leave at that time, and then the fire hit and everything kind of fell apart.
Oftentimes people think that trafficking involves confinement or kidnapping or violent actions, but it could also take a form of subtle control, like not paying the worker or exploiting the worker through holding their documents hostage, like their identification or their passport. And oftentimes those traffickers are people that the person knows or is an acquaintance with, and sometimes it's even family members.
So after the fire, I was cut off from all my income because I was on leave from work, and our HR building burned down and nothing was digitized, so I wasn't able to access disaster unemployment or anything like that. And so an acquaintance I had met while I was super isolated, I didn't know anybody and I didn't have family I could rely on. And so he was kind of the only person I could call on when I needed to leave. And he happened to be going through a divorce and needing a nanny. And that was like the beginning of me moving into there and becoming trafficked.
Human trafficking, in simple terms, is the modern day slavery. It's the control that someone has over a person. They use fear, force, fraud, or coercion to gain profit from the individual. Oftentimes, they exploit them through labor trafficking or commercial sex. But each case may look different. It's important to be vigilant and recognize the signs.
When you're going through trafficking, at least in my experience and most survivors that I've talked to, is you don't really know what's happening to you. I was still vulnerable, I was still isolated, and I didn't have access to transportation, so no paycheck yet, expecting to be paid, and I needed that. And that was around the time that I realized I wasn't getting paid, is when I was completely trapped. And that's when I really started strategizing, okay, I gotta figure out a way to get out of here because I'm gonna get even more trapped. That's actually when I contacted the county to apply for general assistance because I had no money. I had no way to get a phone, no way to get a bus ticket, nothing to get out of there.
If you see someone that's in fear and feel like they're being trafficked, there are resources out there. You can contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline, or you can contact local government agencies like the Department of Consumer and Business Affairs to get safe and confidential help for the person or yourself.
I remember distinctly, like I was just like, hey, I was told to call you guys. Like it wasn't like I knew, and it didn't make sense. I'm like, why are they having me? Like this doesn't quite make sense to me, because in my mind, I had this stereotype of what trafficking was. And I was like, well, I'm not being, like, I'm not that. That it's a big incident that just happens all of a sudden, that it's violent, that it happens in a few moments of time, that involves kidnapping or being moved someplace, when in reality, it can happen to anybody.
People that are most at risk of becoming a victim of human trafficking are people who have lost jobs, who have lost their house or shelter, or who have lost their support system. When people are displaced or desperate to find work, they often turn to job offers that are unsafe or expose them to exploitation. And traffickers know this. Some of these jobs include domestic workers, day laborers, nannies, construction workers. They target people who believe they have no other options but to accept these jobs. First, know your employer. Take the time to understand who you're working for. Ask questions if something doesn't seem right. Know the resources. National hotlines, local support organizations, and government agencies can all provide confidential help. Know the signs, such as people who seem fearful, isolated, or unable to speak freely. If something feels off, you're probably right.
Knowing what was happening to me was critical because it allowed me to navigate a way out. Now I have an opportunity to use my voice and my experiences to help others. It's a whole new beginning for me. It's a new way of living.
If you or someone you know is experiencing human trafficking, please call the National Human Trafficking Hotline or text HELP to 233-733. When more people know what trafficking looks like, fewer people fall into it.